Okay, folks, listen, we finna change it up a little bit, right? Now, you seen I have several videos where I've done pot roasts, but this time we finna do a Mississippi pot roast. And you know what? We finna put them pepperoncinis in there. And listen, do not drain them. Let's get it. Okay, folks, so look, let's go over some of these ingredients. As you guys can see, it's not a whole lot to it. The real star is just gonna be this chuck roast and this crock pot right here, right? So listen, having a crock pot, these are great recipes for you guys that like, for those of us that go to work or have some time, you put them in the crock pot and you let them work. It can go 8 to 10 hours on low, or we can probably do 5 hours on high, right? Now, don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website, smokingandgrillinwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com, right? So everything you see here is fresh except for these, because these did come out of a jar, you know what I mean? So other than that, let's get it. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is I am going to brown or sear, however you guys want to pronounce it. You know, say it. Listen, I'm gonna be using my cast iron, right? So first thing, let's get some heat under here. Now, come on. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and start with like a medium flame. Reason I'm leaving this off so you guys can see, because my medium flame might not be everybody's medium flame. That's high. Listen at it. You guys can hear it. I just want to start about right there, right? Cast iron is gonna take a minute. Don't forget it heats from the center, then spreads out, right? But we want to get this nice and hot. I got some extra virgin olive oil. You guys know that I like to use that infused olive oil. This right here is from Branch and Vine. This is all I use, folks. You know what I mean? So we just put a little oil in there. Now, we got these carrots. I'm gonna move this. Now, let's talk about this part right here. I don't always make recipes that have, packages, you know what I mean? I will put in my ingredient list on the website. See how I got a ranch mix? I'll show you guys how to make it yourself. And then we got a brown gravy mix. I'll show you how to make everything inside of that. Don't forget it's fully downloadable, right? So now let's take this, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just put it right there. That's a nice piece right there. Now, one of the things you wanna make sure is that your roast is completely, dry, right? So I patted this. This is nice and dry. You can see that's nice and hot. Let's go ahead and drop that in there just like that. The amount of olive oil that I put in here, and then when you put this in here, you're gonna get a little splatter. If you guys don't have one of these, this will keep everything as far as your stove, because most people cooking on their stove, you know what I mean? So you try to keep this down here like that to keep your splatter down, right? Helps with the cleanup. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and take a little bit of this salt and just sprinkle a little bit of this on the top. Now, this is a big piece of meat. This is kosher salt, folks. You know what I mean? You guys can do this before. Notice I'm not putting no black pepper on there. Black pepper makes it like dark, kind of like burns when you put it on there when it's so hot. And this process right here takes about, I don't know, anywhere between, it depends on how high your flame is or how hot your pan is. This usually goes about 3 to 5 minutes. After I, let it sit here for I let this one sit for about 4 minutes, right? Let's look at the bottom of it. You see that right there? That's that money right there, folks. So now we put this here. You see that right there? Listen, we sealing the meat and we putting some flavor on there, right? Now we just put it down on the side that had the salt. So we're gonna do the exact same thing over here. We're gonna go 3 to 5 minutes. Now seeing how that took what it did, I'm gonna go another 4.5 minutes. And we're gonna put this spatter guard back on top. Okay, now I want you to look at this right here. I'm gonna lift up this other side so you can see that they match. Let me get myself a pot holder. All right, so if I take it here, you see how it's sliding? That tells me it had already released, right? So when it comes to these here, I seal all sides, right? So I take this and I hold it like this, right? You wanna get that color completely all the way around it. We're not trying to cook it. We just want to get it to have that color, seal up, put a little bit of that on there, and that right there is why yours will taste better than others. Now, meanwhile, what we do is we just want to multitask, right? While that's getting a little sear on it, go ahead and, peel your... Now, I got to think about this. You can peel your carrot. It's up to you. I wash my carrots. After I wash them, being honest with you, once I got them clean, I just put them in there like that. I'm doing this more so for the presentation as far as everybody, watching me, right? But you gotta do it how you want to, but I will say this, make sure you do clean them, Then we just gonna cut these down into chunks. All right, once I got them peeled, then I cut them down into chunks, right? So after being inside of that crock pot, believe me, they're getting ready to be nice and soft. I'll leave some a little bit bigger because this is a little thinner, but this thick one right here, don't worry, they're gonna be nice. If you guys are like me, I don't really like carrots, but when they stew or soften like this, they my favorite. One of my favorites. All right, so now that we got it seared on all sides, take that off. Turn everything off. Now, my carrots are done. I'm gonna move these over here. Now listen, it's the combination of having the pepperoncini and the juice that this is what they use, and this is why they call it the Mississippi, right? The Mississippi pot roast. Now I'm gonna take this, bring this over here like that, take this top off. Now, if you wanna see a masterpiece, look at this right here. Somebody just said to me, that looks so good, we can eat it right now. I was like, you'll be chewing on this until next week. Right, so we take it, whoa, bring that over here and let's set this all the way down. Look at that. Yes, sir. Now you guys gotta love recipes like this because this is great, especially for somebody who went off to school, like to college or something like that. Maybe you just like new to being out on your own. You still wanna have that home, meal. Look, pot roast, crock pot, they should be your thing. Because you make these, get up about 30 minutes early, get all your ingredients stored in here, set it for 10 hours, and then when you come back, you're finna eat something magical. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take my carrots and add these, right? Like you see, we're gonna come with our baby potatoes. I don't know why I keep wanting to call them tomatoes. If I do, folks, y'all know what I mean. Right? Look at this right here. Yes, sir. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and make a little opening right here. Right? You know why? Because we finna take this butter and we finna add that right there on top. All right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my beef broth. And it's obvious, folks. You know what? We use beef broth when we're using beef. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I've had in the past, when I thought I had beef broth, I didn't have it, I used chicken broth. Hey, listen, this big piece of beef, it's gonna go ahead and bleed over it and, marry with the spices and everything I'll just say the mixture of the chicken, and that comes out fire too. Nobody even knew the difference, to be honest with you. Now, remember we had our little packs? Let's go ahead and get those in there. And what I'm doing is now I'm just putting it right over our roast, right? Believe me, in time, this is finna get super soft, flattened down, rendered out all of the fat that's inside of that, mixed with the beef broth, mixed with this gravy. I know some of y'all saying like, hey, I can't believe you using these packages. But listen, every now and then I'm gonna have one of these recipes for you guys, to just keep it nice and simple. Like I say, any of you guys got any loved ones that's out there in the school, you wanna send them a video, send them this one right here. I promise you, they roommate and however they doing it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I got to stay with this cat right here. Now, these pepperoncinis, I'm just gonna take them, just strategically place these in different spots, right? And then I'm gonna pour that juice in there too. Talk to me, y'all. How many of y'all like pepperoncinis? Now, remember we had a little juice? Remember I said we don't wanna drain all that juice off of them, right? We put a little bit in there. I'm actually finna get some more and pour some more in there. And I'm looking at my pepperoncinis because I like them inside of the Mississippi way. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and just add just maybe a couple more and do a dump of just a little bit, maybe like another tablespoon of the juice. All right. Now we just go ahead and put this back. We put that top on. And I said it once before, listen, you can go 8 to 10 hours on low, or you can go like 5 hours to 6 hours really on high. I say 5 hours will probably get you right, but after that, you want to check it. 5 hours if you're around, you know what I mean? If you're not going to be around, 8 to 10. And if you're going to be gone all day, 10 to get you right. You just want to ensure that everything is nice and soft, right? So let me set a timer and I'll see you guys in 5 hours. All right, so listen, my timer has went off. You know what I mean? I've already took the top off here. You can look at the top and you can see, right? But I went 5 hours. So I actually put it back on high just because I took the top off just to keep it nice and hot. before I let it go to the warming setting, right? So we're gonna go ahead, look at this. Then when you do break it, you guys will know to break it away from yourselves. Remember, let the steam out that way, not this way, so you don't get no burns. I'll set this over here. Now I want you guys to look. Come on in here. Let me pull this over here close to myself. Look at this right here. Now, when I first did it, you see how this looks? I take a toothpick and I check, like all of my veggies, right? The veggies are right. This one was a little big, but even though I put them in here like this, these baby potatoes, I am gonna cut them in half because what you wanna do is you just wanna stretch them. You want everybody to get it. But obviously I'm using a rubber, this is a rubber spatula. Look at this, it just goes, it tells me that this right here is done. Now, when you want to talk about like the juice and everything that it has rendered down, you guys can always take one heaping tablespoon of cornstarch, add some cold water to it, mix it all up, drop it in here and let it do its thing if you want it to be thick. Now for me, this is the thickness that I like right here. I want you guys, look at that. That right there is okay. It's better than okay. That right there is the bomb. Now, let me go ahead and take this out. Put it on here, we're gonna shred it all up, and then we're gonna go ahead and plate and taste. All right, so you salt away, like just pick it up, with the tongs, just how soft it is, right? That's what you want to have. Like I will say, as we all know, this is the meat. I always call it like a rubber tire, you know what I mean? But as long as we cook it and we got it right, you know what I mean? You'll be able to look. I don't really apply really too much or nothing to it. Look at this, folks. Yepper. This is what you want to have. Now listen, I'm trying to talk so you guys don't hear me. You know what I mean? You hear my mouth. Everything is running. But this right here is done right. You know what I mean? And remember the gravy that I kind of like just showed you that it produces? This is really enough. Now, some of you guys gonna put it on rice. I like to do it on mashed potatoes, but I just wanted to show you, what it looks like, how it is, and to get that taste too. Because don't forget, we put that pepperoncini liquid in there also, right? Then if you want to know how soft these are, I just put these like that. Look, they soft, folks. It really depends on the size of them. You know what I mean? But that right there, oh my goodness. Now, let's talk about seasoning. As far as adding salt, to it, I think when it comes to like pot roast, you know what I mean? You can always add your seasoning, to the individual bowl. Now, let me go ahead and get some pictures. Let's make this a star, because that's why you here already. And then we're finna do a taste test. All right, folks, so look, there it is right there, taking a few pictures of it, trying to get a little fancy with, with just like the presentation, you know what I mean? I tell you, like when my presentation is right and I feel good about it, it seems like it just levels up the taste of the food, right? So as you can see, I put a little rosemary as a little garnish on the outside. Then we got these pepperoncinis in here. Listen, adding the pepperoncinis to it, it just does, I don't know, I don't really have a word for that, but I will tell you this right here. Just this combination of everything that we put in here right here, even without putting salt in here. Oh, I gotta tell you guys, I weaned myself from salt, like a year ago, you know what I mean? So I only need just like a little bit of salt. So the natural salts that are in the inside, do it for me. Now what you can do is you can give, the salt and the pepper to each individual person as they do it. You ask me, this right here is fire though. We bringing in the new year right. Cheers, y'all. Oh yeah. And then if I'm gonna keep it true, I'm gonna do it like my granddaddy do it. Grab one of these. Yes, sir. Now look, I'm gonna hurry up and wrap this one up. You guys gotta try it. Now listen, I done made a bunch of different pot roast, doing different, different seasonings and all of that. But listen, this Mississippi, look, that pepperoncini, this is nice. It's got a nice, gentle heat. If I want to say if anything was ever kid friendly, that's this right here. Now, you guys tried the way I showed you, and if you want a little bit more heat, you can add a little bit more of the liquid, you know what I mean? Or if you really want to be daring, you can go ahead and hit it with a little bit of that cayenne. You know what I mean? But try it like this first. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about it and what would you do to level this up. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there. There's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. Now, let me pour a tall glass of iced tea, and I'm about to sit down and eat. I'm out, folks. Peace.